Good evening. Tonight, we will be drinking Bloody Marys and have a little Chicken Cordon Bleu, blah, blah, blah. Tonight, on Adventures with Alchemy. Mwah, ah, 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 ah.
Welcome and happy early Halloween. This is a great month. I can't lie. I'm excited. A lot of great things happening. Just scary movies and just scary drinks and scary everything. So let's have fun. We are going to start with the Bloody Mary. Okay, sorry. So the Bloody Mary. A little bit of history. The Bloody Mary was invented supposedly in 1921 by a man named Fernand Petiot. French guy, worked at an American bar called Harry's, New York American bar, which is funny because it was in Paris. Now, there are some disputes to this story, as a lot of stories. Remember what I said in episode 1, way back in the day? Some of these stories can get a little convoluted. Well, these are one of them. There's many stories. So, just real quick, there's the Fernand Petiot story, which is he did lots of vodka drinks. One day he took some tomato juice and vodka, thought it was pretty good. Over time, he developed it, added more stuff. He eventually ended up in 1933 in a New York bar at the St. Regis Hotel, where eventually he basically perfected the drink. It was called a bucket of blood. It was called a red snapper. It was called a lot of things, but the Bloody Mary is how we know it today. The name may have originated from a drink called the bucket of blood, or it could have originated from Mary Tudor, who was Mary First of England, Queen of England, who killed a lot of Protestants. A lot of Protestants. I mean, she killed a lot of people. That's why she was called Bloody Mary. So those are a couple of them. Now that we have our history, now that we have kind of an idea of where the name comes from, let's get into our Bloody Mary base. Now, the Bloody Mary base, you need to mise en place, like everything. So mise en place means everything in its place. All your ingredients, all your tools, everything in its place, ready to go. What you want to do is we want to get all your things together. We have celery, and I'm going about a quarter cup. So about a quarter cup of celery, a quarter cup of jalapenos. I'm going to take a whole clove of garlic and I'm going to drizzle it with olive oil, some salt and pepper, and we're going to roast this off as we're roasting off our tomatoes, because we want roasted garlic in our actual mix. So what you do is you cut off the top of the garlic clove, the bulb, and you drizzle olive oil on the inside, salt and pepper the top, and then just place it heads up like this in the oven and let it bake for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then you'll get this nice, soft, gooey, you let it cool after that and you just squish it and just, it'll all come out. Just delicious. Roasted garlic is amazing. Then we have thyme, fresh thyme here. Again, about a quarter cup. Maybe slightly less. We have a bunch of sliced limes here. You don't need this many. I would say just 3 or 4 is fine. A wedge. Here we have about a quarter cup of olive oil. We're going to use this for drizzling our tomatoes and, of course, our garlic. We have sliced onions. And yeah, we're just going to basically put all this together, except the limes, and we are going to coat everything. We're going to lay it on a nice sheet, a baking sheet with parchment paper. You're going to set your oven to 390 degrees and you're going to preheat the oven. We're going to coat all the, well, anyway, let's get to it. So, oil. And while we're at it, do the garlic. Toss this in oil. Next, we're going to add our herbs. We're going to add our jalapenos. We're going to add our onion. And just a little bit of celery. You don't need to go crazy with the celery, just a little bit. We're gonna add the rest of that into the actual blend. So we're gonna roast all this, and then we're gonna put it into a blender and blend it all off. Beautiful. Try to get, space out your herbs and your spices and your onions and everything. Try to get each piece of tomato with a little bit of something on it so that when it bakes that flavor in. One more thing. Now we're gonna salt and pepper all the, light season everything, and then pop it in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. We're just looking for the color to change, so a little deeper, for the onions to be cooked, so they should start browning or even become translucent. Depending on your oven, this could take longer or it could take less. That's what you're looking for. Let's do this. Okay, so we have some fresh tomatoes all cut up here, and we have our cooked tomatoes right here. We're gonna mix the two, and here we have our roasted garlic. As you can see, it's toasted, it's ready to go, a little translucent, and it's ready to go. We're gonna mix it up with the tomatoes. And one more thing, we have some roasted bell peppers that we roasted off with the tomatoes as well. We have some charredness over the outside skin. You could do this with the coils of your stove. You could do this with a torch. There's many ways, but you want to char the outside skin, place it inside a dish and cover it with plastic. Let it go for a little while, and what you'll get is this nice charred bell pepper. You take some paper towels, and what we're going to do is we're just going to wipe off the charred skin, just like this. Very, very easy, and you get beautiful, beautiful roasted bell pepper meat. Just awesome. We're gonna slice this up. We're gonna add it into the tomato mix here. Now, you want to mix it up so even distribution of flavor. So do roasted, raw, little garlic. Now remember what I told you before? You just press on it. Look at that. Look how it comes out so easily. All that delicious roasted garlic. And yeah, we're just gonna squeeze some out, put some in, roasted bell pepper. And again, I sliced it up into a little bit. You want to use about half the bell pepper, and yeah, a little bit at a time. Now, once it's all done, you take the remainder of your ingredients and mix them all together, because what we have in the blender is literally made for about 2 people, maybe 3. This is going to be for the remainder. If you want to have a party, then blend all of this up together. If you're going to have 4 or 5 drinks, this is enough for just a couple. So we put away the remainder for later, and we are going to blend up what we have here. We have some seasoning, some juice. We'll blend it until it's nice and smooth, and then go ahead and get your fine mesh strainer or any strainer that you have lying around the house, and go ahead and start to gently, and I mean gently, slowly pour this into your strainer. Too hard and it'll splash back on. What you're looking for is a nice, smooth stream. You're gonna let it strain. You're gonna use a plastic spatula, because using metal could actually damage your fine mesh strain. The last thing you want to do is bend up a beautiful or an expensive chinois. So slowly, gently fold and turn, and try not to press things against the sides. Just fold it around each other, go in circles, and you can see it right here as it smoothly pours out. And now let's move on to putting things together. Now that we have all that cooking out of the way for our Bloody Mary base, we have it looking all nice and pretty in this flask. It's been chilling in the refrigerator for a little while. We've gotten our little garnish bar going on right here. But first, we need to prepare our vodka. Now, some people just like doing vodka with their mix, and that's fine. That's great. I like to take it a step further. Take our vodka, doesn't matter whatever your favorite vodka is, I like to use Tito's. And because I'm planning on making at least 2 Bloody Marys, one for me, one for the missus, I'm gonna do 5 ounces of vodka, 2.5 per drink, you know what I mean? Okay, we have our vodka inside our Quick Whip whipping canister. Quick Whip, love you guys. We're gonna take some fresh jalapenos, and we're just gonna put them into our canister here. Go ahead and get your nitrogen, put it into the canister, holster I like to call it. Go ahead and place the top on, screw it on tight. Insert your gas cartridge and twist until you hear that awesome magical sound. That's the one. Boom. Now, give it a couple hours, you'll have a wonderful jalapeno vodka infusion. You can put that in your refrigerator, you could just leave it in your bar, it'll be fine. And through the magic of Hollywood, it's already here. Crazy. Wow. Anyway, one more mise en place before we get started on this wonderful cocktail. Let's start from this side and move on this way. We have our jalapeno vodka. We have our sticky syrup, a little bit of lime juice for the rim. We have our kosher salt with tahini and just a little bit of cayenne for the rim itself. We have just 4 or 5 maybe cubes of ice, a little bit of ice for, of course, the drink, and a stalk of celery. Now, little tip, when it comes to celery, I like to take a peeler to the outside of the stalk and just clean it all off of that waxy outside part. It just gives it a nice flavor, just a slight bit more palatable. Now on to the good stuff. We have our base that we made. All that TLC, all that tender love and care, right here. Then we have our condiments. Now, you have a little bit of everything here. You have your bacon, you have your olives. Now, you can do regular olives, you can do stuffed olives, you can do blue cheese stuffed olives. There's so many possibilities, okay? Do what you like. Cherry tomatoes, you got your cheese, you got your gherkins, and of course some nice little sausages. We will also be adding some hot sauce. This stuff right here is going into this, okay? So we're gonna mix all that up in here. Celery salt, very important. In fact, you know what? Let's just do it now. One dash. 1 dash of Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, or whatever you want to call it. 1 good dash, you know? 1.5 dashes of Tapatio, Tabasco, whatever floats your boat. 1/4 ounce of lime juice. Next, you want to take your glass. You want to dip it. Dip it in your syrup. Make sure you get a good amount of rim. We're not going to use a straw for this. This is a part of the cocktail. So now that it's not dripping too much, to avoid a mess, we're going to roll it in our spiced salt. Okay. And as you can see, if you want to add more flavor to your cocktail, go ahead and leave the inside. If you don't want to add more salt or more spice to your cocktail, then just wipe out that inside. Hold it upside down and just wipe the inside out with like a napkin or something. Personally, I like it. Next, we are going to add our celery stalk and our ice. We are going to add one more little something. That's going to be just a little bit of olive juice. So just add a little bit, that's it. 1/4 ounce, about right. And just give it a nice little stir, just a little bit. Next, we'll take this good stuff here and just pour about 3 ounces. I've made this many times this week, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. You don't eyeball it, you measure. Let's get our alcohol in there. 2.5 ounces. Okay, so we have our ingredients together. Let's give this a good stir. Go ahead and pour it over the top. And then prepare your garnish. You can take whatever combination of whatever you want. Now, I'm the only one drinking from this, so when you have your friends over, don't just let everybody freehand things. Get picks. Put them in there. Make that a part of the spread, you know what I mean? See, isn't that pretty? And then you just put it over the top. Try not to make a mess. And there you have it. You have a beautiful, beautiful Bloody Mary that is now running and ready for me to drink it. So, go ahead, make it, drink it, enjoy it. Bye. God, so Wow. Hungry? I know I am. Now, the best food in the world, no matter what restaurant, no matter who's cooking, no matter where you are, the best food comes from a happy cook. And what makes a happy cook Well, the people who he's cooking for, obviously. It could be your clients, it could be your friends, and in this case, this is for my friends, but particularly for family. Nothing warms my heart like making a dish that makes a family member smile. This is for my Aunt Maria. This is for you. Chicken Cordon Bleu, just like you wanted. And I'm happy to do it because it's a great dish to go along with the cocktail that we made. So let's get started. Chicken Cordon Bleu is a traditional chicken that has been battered. It is stuffed with cheese and ham and is usually traditionally fried. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to make it in the oven. This is actually really, really easy, and it's really good in the oven. It's actually ideal if you have an air fryer, and I have a lot of friends that have air fryers, so you're going to love this. It just comes out crispy, it comes out juicy, and you don't have to deep fry it. Take your chicken breasts and put it in between 2 sheets of saran wrap, and then you take your mallet, your tenderizer, get on the flat side, and slowly, you don't have to do that. Just slowly let the weight of the hammer do its job. You're looking for about an inch, maybe a little less of an inch of thickness. Now, once you have that done, we're gonna unwrap this. We're gonna put cheese, we're gonna put ham, and then we're gonna roll it. So, now I'm using Monterey Jack. It's really good with mozzarella, it's good with Gruyere, it's good with Swiss, it's good with whatever cheese you like, but personally, I like Monterey. Nice slab of ham, shredded cheese. If you want to use sliced cheese, that also works. You want to get thin slices though, so it's easy to fold. Next, take it and just roll it like a tortilla. So as you can see, we have our roll of happy right here. We're going to take some stabbers, toothpicks, and go right through. And pick it up and make sure those go all the way through each layer so that it's together, holding it together. And next, we're gonna do the triple dip. So let's put this guy in here. So we have our rolled chicken. Now we have a bowl of 1 cup of flour, a couple of eggs beaten so you have a wash, and some raw panko breadcrumbs. The reason why I say raw is because here I have some toasted breadcrumbs. So while we're doing all that other stuff, toast some breadcrumbs. You'll see that on the instructions in the beginning when we put our ingredients. Follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. You want to toast a little bit of breadcrumbs, about a cup of breadcrumbs, half a cup of breadcrumbs. Keep an eye on them. 350, 5 minutes. Keep your eyes on them. They will toast fast, okay? So you want them nice golden brown delicious, okay? And what you're gonna do, the idea of this is that we're gonna roll this in the breadcrumbs and we're gonna place it on the bed of toasted breadcrumbs. So when you put it in the oven and it cooks, you have still a crispy bottom instead of having this mushy bottom from all the, I don't know if you've ever had shake and bake, but it kind of has like a mushy bottom. It's all crispy on the outside. Anyway, you'll see. So, tip number 1, flour. I'll just coat that bad boy in flour. Give it a little roll. Now we want to roll it in the egg wash. Roll it in your egg wash. Roll it real good. Make sure it's got a coat on there. Take it and quickly put it into those crumbs and cover it as fast as you can. I don't want this dish to intimidate you. See? Look how easy that was. Rolled it in there. Set it over your nice golden brown delicious. Maybe sprinkle a little bit over the top like that. If you see a little meat exposed or whatever. And we are ready for the show. So, pop this in the oven, 390 for about 30 minutes. Okay, keep an eye on it. You'll see the meat, you'll see this start to turn brown. You'll see the meat get, start to turn, it'll get harder. And if you want to take the temp on it, you're looking for about 155, 160. I know that you'll see chicken for 165 in the books, but here, let me tell you something. There's something called carryover cooking. Once you take something out of the oven, it's going to continue to cooking up to 15 degrees higher. So if you're cooking chicken, take it out at 150 and then let it just sit for a little while. That 15 degrees will still carry over. You'll have your 165 chicken nice and moist. So here we go. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes away from our chicken being ready. And right around this time is when you want to start making your sauce. So we're going to make a Dijon sauce, real easy. Take about a 1/4 cup of chicken broth. If you have chicken stock, that's fine. Add a little salt and pepper, you know, season it up a little bit. But chicken broth. 1/2 cup of, this is about 3/4 of a cup, yeah, give or take, yeah, of heavy cream. And then of course, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Now, just incorporate all your ingredients nice and smoothly. And then turn your heat to about 300. And remember, this is heavy cream, so this doesn't take very long, and keep an eye on it. The heavy fat, it will burn if you're not on it, you know what I mean? It'll scorch it and it just won't taste good. Always keep your salt and pepper handy just in case you want to season it. Once it starts to simmer slightly, we're going to taste it. If we want, we'll season. If not, you will see the color change. It will turn a slight yellow, right? If you have some fresh pepper, go for it. If not, don't worry. All right, so our chicken is ready. Our sauce is cooling slightly. We don't want it like cold. We just want it to kind of cool down a little bit so the body kind of, that fat kind of solidifies just slightly. It makes it slightly thicker. You'll see. This is not supposed to be a super heavy sauce. It is made with cream, but it is meant to be just kind of like a light, drizzly sauce, if you know what I mean. It's not supposed to be like a heavy, for example, it's not supposed to be like an aioli or a heavy hollandaise or béarnaise or anything like that. It's supposed to be just more of a very light cream sauce going over the top. You'll see, it's to complement. So, if you did it right, and temps are right, and you followed my instructions, I know you did, I trust you. This is what it should look like. Cheese just pulling away, nice layers, everything cooked right. You can see right there, cheese just oozing out of happiness. Look, I'll even show you that. I'm gonna eat this, by the way. That's like, oh, I mean, come on, oh. Yeah, that's happening. So, now that we know what awaits us, we have to finish it off. So, take your sauce, give it a nice little swirly swirl, and just light drizzle. Just over the top. If you want it thicker, you can add a little roux or you can add a little flour. Roux is just cooked flour and butter together, and then you let it solidify. As you can see, I'm not pouring it all over the chicken. I'm just going up down the center. That's all. This will be great for 2 reasons. 1, if the chicken is cooked perfect, it's going to be juicy, runny, delicious, and that's going to combine perfect into a sauce within the chicken itself. It's all just going to blend beautifully. If you overcooked your chicken, that's actually going to cover it up a little bit. So either way, you're going to win. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, join us on Patreon if you want to see some more exclusive type stuff. Please enjoy, have fun, share this meal with your friends and family. And yes, cheers. See you next week. Almost forgot something. Oh man.